Hey, welcome to the Really Charlie podcast. And today's guest is nothing but the best in my book. This young man, this man, period, used to be a young man. He's still a young man. And I couldn't wait to get him on this podcast. I seen him doing different other shows, and I always wanted my man Marques Houtman to come on here only because he is a good brother, good conversation. Captivated my attention at a very young age, at his young age, and ever since then, I just watched him from afar. And let's just forget about the admiration I have for his parents, his grandparents, his family in general. This is definitely one of the young men in my community that is 5 stars. And there's a lot of people in his family that have 5 stars as far as I'm grading them. And he's here. So welcome, Marques. How you doing?
Good to see you, Charlie. Finally on
Yeah.
the show, man. Appreciate the kind words.
Yeah. The truth.
Always been
Truth
a big brother. Always been a big brother to me.
Thank you.
So it's just it's
It's
a pleasure.
yeah, man. It's we did something just not too long ago, and it was great to collaborate with you and Lamont Ferguson, and try to help out things, as far as Monty's Park and then the legacy of that park, and trying to just basically give it its due. Monty's Park is named after a veteran, so we honestly needed to get a flagpole there. Everything we talked about, the mural, all that stuff. It's very, very important that we do that. So,
Yeah, we got to keep our legacy alive. I mean, it's all about stories that we have from our ancestors in our past. So, Cape Verdeans, we're centralized down there in the south end, where we started off. So,
and it's changing a little bit. There's people are buying up properties, and so the families are changing, the names are changing. So I try to encourage many families that are still in that area to keep your real estate. It's very, very important. Don't get tempted by all the stuff that's going on. The prices that may be the most money you ever seen in your life. However, what's more important is that you keep that legacy going and pass on that real estate, because it's just so important. If you didn't save up $100,000 in your life already, and now that you get $500,000, what do you think is going to happen with it? And most likely,
right. Absolutely.
Yeah,
there's a big legacy down in that park.
Yep.
So
the let me read off some things here. I just creating this description for this podcast was pretty cool. And and I thought it was real brief, because there's so much things that you're involved in. But I'm going to mention the few things that I have here. For the audience, Marques Houtman is a two-time Hall of Fame inductee at UMass Dartmouth, a member of the Cape Verdean national basketball team, and a bronze medalist for the that's FIBA African Championship in 2007. Along with being an educator, this young man has done many things. He has a YouTube channel. I want you all to follow, like, and subscribe. It's very important that you do that. And I also want you to like and subscribe to the Really Charlie podcast. On the screen is Marcus's YouTube channel, so I'm gonna leave it up there for a little while. All right, Marques, you know a lot of people that are 24/7 dads, as you see on my T-shirt.
Yeah.
This is something that is part of B Mag's legacy, and he has folks, fathers meet up at Hazelwood Park in New Bedford, Massachusetts on Father's Day. And the one thing is that there's many people in your family that are dads, including your brother, your dad, and they're 24/7 dads. Anybody, I'm gonna kind of paraphrase what's in the back of the shirt, but any man could be a father, but especially someone could be a dad 24/7. And that's your folks, that's your dad, that's your brother. I got a hot question for you. When are you going to be a 24/7 dad, or do you like being an uncle?
I love being an uncle there. In my 20s, I was out in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I think at the time, like when a lot of my age group was having kids, I was traveling. And like you said, I have one of them 24/7 dads. I was fortunate enough, anytime I took a look, I got to see my dad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the last thing I want to do, you hear horror stories.
Yeah.
Of, either having a kid overseas or just not being around. So I put that off. I mean, you never know what God has for you.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not really a joke or a game when it comes to kids. So
yeah,
while I was playing, it was one of those situations where I would want to see that child every day. So
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good. It's a partnership between mom and dad, a mother and father, and so having a child is just, you got to make sure that you have that team that's going to raise this child and do the right thing. Let me see what's going on. We got a lot of comments here. This is good. This is good. So you get Marques Houtman on the Really Charlie podcast and things happen, right? My two guys, my man Craig, consistently supporting the Really Charlie podcast. And,
yeah, man. Craig's one of the partners here at Sleep Center. And
yeah, proud of him. It's amazing when you see people that are 12 years old and now they're grown men raising their own families. Great thing. It's the Skylar Oliveira. Yep.
Oh, that's another buddy.
Oh man, look at that.
Oh, my guys, man.
Mm-hmm. Hey, wasn't that a teammate of yours?
No, Skylight coach when he was younger. Then he was a roommate for a while. Successful real estate in Boston.
Good.
Try to keep that business network.
Yeah.
Charlie.
Yeah. So my wife Michelle Perry, saying very smart. Of course he is. He's in the house of a teacher, and he can't even mess around. He can't even mess around.
It was real in that house I grew up in. They smiled to all you guys.
Wait, there's no doubt. I mean,
it was all love.
Your mom was no nonsense when she was in the classroom. I seen it firsthand, so it's all good.
The whole time, high standard.
Yeah. True, much love and respect. One of the reasons it says I always wanted to dunk a ball. Yep, Willis.
Willis is he should have came up now. Now they take care of Willis's,
Mm-hmm.
the athletes, and that's an athlete. Another family,
Yep. Hall of Famer.
I love New Bedford, man.
Yep, another great family he comes from, and both sides is doing his. It's just yeah, and
much love to Willis. Life's rough, man. We got our rough patches. He checks in with me and just push.
Yeah, and I gotta give you a high five for checking in on him. Great story, great Hall of Famer for New Bedford Tech, and I when he's ready, he's gonna come on. I know he is, and we're gonna talk shop just like you and I are doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
This dude right here, oh my God. Yep, Jace Flea, legend. Yeah, definitely.
Got a funny Flea story.
Yeah, just talk about it.
You know how, as a kid, first let me give a disclaimer because the young kids, they only know me as a player. They don't know how hard I had to work, like to get on the court with Flea and Ash and all these guys. So I think I was 13, and on Friday nights they used to play pickup basketball at the Boys and Girls Club. So they would do something like 2 on, 1 off, where you play 2 games and then you're off, no matter what. That way the run was there. So I wasn't old enough, but they needed one.
Mm-hmm.
So I get on the court, and my father set me up. So I looked over to the right. I'm like, that's Marcus Wills. I ain't playing him. That's Jeffrey Clark. I ain't playing him. So they see that. So my father goes, why don't you play Jason?
Yeah.
So I turn, I go, Jason, I remember Jason.
Mm-hmm.
But he's smaller, you know what I mean? I'll play him. Oh, man, worst mistake ever, man. Welcome. Welcome to the court, man. Spun me around a couple times. But that was my welcome, you know?
Yeah.
Those guys were just on that. They were just on that level. Just New Bedford ballers.
It's amazing. The ball, just say that, I always wanted to imagine if this area was a metropolitan area like they have up north and in Boston and all that area.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine a combination of players in each different decade, where we could kind of have a team? You know, we held our own anyways, you know, most of the high schools around here.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, and I'm just, well, let me go back to Flea. Flea is just amazing dude. Like to get him on a podcast, but he's camera shy. So I like to just do it without the video and just get him on here, you know. And but I want to talk to you about somebody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
16, 17 years ago, you interviewed someone called Foo, right? You interviewed him. Now, I've been asking him to come on, but tell me, what was the thinking about interviewing him? Just in your words, I want to know.
So, I like being a tech geek. You know, we've been a geek for years. I love all the technology. So we're always buying something. So I think it was a camera at the time, and we were just sticking the camera in people's faces, trying to get highlights actually with basketball before that. So I was like, let me just. Fufu's colorful.
Yep.
You know, one of the best athletes, and he's a good storyteller. So he made it known how important it was in that state championship. But that was a while back, you know, just you know, sticking the camera in front of people. But those are the guys I grew up watching. You know, effortless with anything that they played. That was pretty much everybody out here in the Bedford play, you know, anything. I say we're all scoring guards. I just happen to be, you know, 6'3". You know, I got to go for it at the right time. So I got to, and it was the right time frame where I got to go play with the trees. Yeah. But anytime we, you know, you get out of this area, it's just all about opportunity.
Sure is. And
those guys didn't lose anything. Wills, those 90s teams. You know, I was a freshman watching that. And it's one thing to see them on just every day at a cookout or hanging out or playing at the park, but then when they went into their season and performed and won all those championships.
Now, you remember the stories that, like, you know, dad, uncles, cousins, older cousins of yours, talk about stories of all the different legacies and all the different teams that were in this area and how much they were in awe, you know, watching them and then later playing. I never really I kind of underestimated all those stories, right? And maybe you did too. But never really felt the way they did talking about, you know, teams of the past until the high school when Fu and that 94, 93, I think it was 95 season, all that time, you anticipated them playing, you seen some greatness going on, and you know, instead of staying home watching a game, I was at the high school watching a legit local team play and be happy about it and didn't have any problem traveling. So I actually kind of felt the way the elders felt, when they were watching people like, you know, the Gomes brothers, Houtman, even, your dad, even before them, those people, the older ones, from Mr. Rocha and all those guys playing. It's just crazy, I so watching those guys was a privilege in the 90s, and including watching you. It just, those are great teams for me. I always tell the story that I had pictures of all you guys and detectives, and on my desk under my glass, on the desk, and just seeing them all over the place and telling stories about you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be Friday Night Lights, like the pinnacle used to be like play for your high school.
Yeah.
And we happen to have one of those high schools. Auntie
Yep.
Linda's there too.
Mm-hmm.
So what the goal was to get on the court, and then you had just the success. So when you used to hear stories about those families or people, me walking around with my father and my aunt, my uncle, and all these legends, and then hearing stories, hearing what people say right to their face,
Mm-hmm.
it makes you want to live up to stuff.
Yeah, it sets the gauge, right?
Yeah, I had hard workers that I was around, so they weren't short to tell me, yeah, man, you got that last name, so let's see what you do with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the craziest thing is a good
There's a lot
last
of
name.
partner.
Yep. Good. So, all right, I want to talk. We'll stick with basketball. Now, here it is, probably your junior year. Now you're probably thinking about the next step. You know, um, academically, you're thinking about that already. You probably was thinking that at the young age. But now here it is. It's high school ball, and the collegiate level is definitely got to be in your head by your junior year. Has to be, because of how and how you was playing. And so, who walks up to you first to say, Marcus, I want you to come to my university and play for me?
Well, the story's a little bit backwards.
Okay.
So my parents were all over us to make sure that I didn't have my head in a cloud as far as like basketball being primary.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't go the recruiting route. Like I got a few letters more in my senior year. There's Mike Kahn, another OG,
Yes.
out there playing with us. So I always thought about college playing, but we were just trying to make sure that we graduated from college with a degree that was meaningful. And if we had the opportunity to play, then we would, But I was perfect for junior college. Go up the ranks and probably earn a scholarship. Instead, I went to Stonehill College, which was good for us. We didn't. It was affordable. I didn't have like real recruiting like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a late bloomer. I did score well in high school, but like I said, we weren't running that path. Like that wasn't in our household.
Okay.
Basketball never overrode any academics or normal life things, and I think that's kind of why I had a lot of success because, for one, I took it serious, and then I didn't get sick of it. But it was a healthy balance. So by the time I went to Stonehill, I went there as a walk-on. I didn't get that much playing time. A few of us left. I transferred, and back then you didn't have that transfer protocol, so I would have lost. I would have lost all my eligibility. So I transferred down to. No, I transferred to. I don't want to say down.
Yep.
To UMass Dartmouth, but I transferred to UMass Dartmouth to play for Brian Baptiste. There was a few of us that were scholarship players that ended up playing Division III, and we were like, number 2 in the country.
Mm-hmm.
But everything was about management. I wanted management. I always wanted a business degree.
Yeah.
We're math guys, and I always wanted to kind of get involved in management. I love marketing. I love all that stuff. So that was the main thing for UMass Dartmouth. They had a good business program, and that's where I went. And like I tell students and I tell people all the time, I wouldn't have made $1 professionally if it wasn't for the discipline that I learned when I got into business school, like my last 2 years of college. So being able to balance that workload and being able to play on the basketball team. And I used to leave early in the spring. I used to finish class early to go play, either like in Senegal or somewhere with the national team in the beginning, So
very nice. I love it.
But college is up there. I don't think it's for everybody. I think it's something to try. Also, I remember that story too, with Nate. But I think people, like my mantra with the students is you owe high school. I think you owe high school to your ancestors if you're in the United States. You owe high school, you owe good effort in it. I think it's a good indication of how you're going to be in the workforce, how you're going to be working with people. I mean, the systems could be better, but I lived where it was horrible. Yeah. But I think you owe high school, and then from there, kind of see where you're at from there. Yeah, Nate, see the victors. See, this is why I moved back to the Bedford. Like we were talking about that day. You have all these families, all have their own story and their own matriarch, patriarch. And these are some of the guys that we looked up to that would not take it easy on us.
Yeah, and it's very
I appreciate that, Nate.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, we played every sport every season. If the season changed and it went to football, basketball, baseball, mainly the neighborhoods throughout the city, that's what they were doing. They were just playing a sport and doing the best they can and holding their own. So, I those stories of, especially going to park to play was something rewarding to me, and that's why it made it easier, especially when I became a police officer. That I knew everybody from everywhere. Right. It wasn't a problem. I wasn't isolated. I wasn't segregated to one part of the city. It was all over the place. So, just want to bring up this comment here from David Cabral. He says, "My brother, David, one of the best ball." Yes. And so true.
Oh my guys, man.
Yeah, it's good for you to, and that's why we're here on the Really Tally podcast. We're trying to highlight you.
A lot of these guys, Kirk, and these other guys I played against in school and different like that. Now they're running their own, their own things outside of Boston and up north, and it's just now it's all on the kids if they want to, really pull that trigger and be all in, because the avenues are there now.
Yeah, it sure are. It's there's no excuses. If you're putting out the effort, and we're going to get to that in a few minutes on some of the things that you put on your YouTube channel. I want to talk to you more about that. Paulo Paris saying, "Hey fam,
it's family."
You get Paul Gomes. This is
man, the Gomes families.
We definitely got to get Paul into the Hall of Fame at Vogue. So, Paul, you belong there. Truly, truly believe it, and got to build up a history for you so we can present it there. And but another awesome ball player, Stephen Lopes, talks about the story of him and Paul Gomes playing against each other, Holy Family, and Vogue, and Paul blocks his shot.
Yeah, the real story.
Blocks his shot, it hits the bleachers and pops the ball. Pops a basketball. I mean, that's that Gomes strength, man. It's amazing. So that's just a story I like to tell, but I also want to credit Stephen Lopes, a very good ball player, over 900 points at Holy Family, just a feat in itself.
Oh
yeah. Paul says, "I never forget Ray saying, Paul, tell my sons how good I could ball." Listen.
Man, we saw that firsthand.
Yeah,
all those guys quit before I could beat them.
Yeah,
all of them.
Yeah,
irks me.
And Missy, my dear, love this woman.
Auntie
Says
Missy.
hi.
Love you,
Yep,
Auntie.
yep. Aaron Watkins saying my guy. Um,
You got some game too, man. The sneaky
yeah,
left hand.
yep, yep,
Oh, this guy too. Another
yeah.
baller.
This freaking maniac here, man.
Another lockdown defender.
I am
Or
he just, let him make it happen. Just give him the
I see
ball.
Jared will be out there with us though.
Yeah, 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 yep.
We got to meet at the park. That's how you get
Mm-hmm.
better.
Yep.
My man.
Yep. Aaron, love it. Love it, love it, love it. And I'm gonna just put up a few more comments here. Jamal Silva saying my guy Jamal, he was a good ball player too, man. It's just crazy too. Colleen Sheila, so two great people. Love it, love it, love it. And there's your auntie again. Family representing in the comment section. They're definitely doing their thing.
Full name.
Yes. Flip Rose, good to see you. Yes.
Flip.
Little
Another
Flip.
shooter.
Yeah, doing some good things. All right. So, yeah, saying hi. And what's this?
Haha.
Yep.
Know that.
Yeah, yeah. And we got our boy Eldrick. Two great people on the podcast. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate that, man. Good guy right there.
All right, let me go to your channel here. And by the way, I love your channel. You're doing great.
Yeah, I got a bunch of videos we're gonna start throwing up, like we were talking about with the micro documentaries and like
Let's talk.
stuff. So
let's talk about that. The brainstorm behind that. Why do you want to do that?
Well, one of the biggest motivations I will have to say, as a kid, was just seeing all the heroin as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about it, and then when I got to Europe and I got to Africa and I got to see people that were on the side, that were dealing with their type of addictions or whatever, I found some common, and I found out psychologically that the heroin addict, the person who gives up everything every day just for one thing, is one of the toughest people walking around. Like they just had a little offset or whatever. Exactly. So whenever I think of who was going the hardest, especially when I used to be working out trying to find motivation, and you think who's going the hardest in the 20 mile or like 2 mile radius, and you want to be that one of the ones working hardest, I realized that the addicts were going the hardest.
Yeah.
And they were working, they gave up everything every single day, to get what they wanted. So like that's where some of that relentlessness came from. So some of the micro docs that Mont and I and some other people are working on is trying to get some of that real story of some of the people like here in the North End and people that have gone through it, not to make a mockery, but just to show, how real it is. Because back in the day, my parents, they showed us that, they if one of their friends was going through it, they went right at them right there, like, what are you trying to do? You trying to die? You trying to do this? You trying to do that? So those things, and it's not always popular right now for some people because of it, kind of like a soft society here. We got to say things perfect. But some of these end games are still tragic. So, I feel like some of those things is where that's the motivation. Trying to get something out there that really says stuff. Oh, I mean, Jeremy, in Europe.
Yeah.
So it's like it's. I feel like we can capture some of that hard work, because I have real conversations with a lot of people that are going through stuff in the area. It's not just about somebody over there that's hurting. But I try to ask them, what they're dealing with. So it's more powerful stuff like that. Some of the things that we talked about was Tom being such an influence, Tom Lopes being such an influence on us and trying to get, just get the word out because you can. It's a camera and covering something. Because that's what our community is. Our community is all about stories and who knows who. And before that really dies out, let's use this technology and use some of this like you're doing for a reason there.
I agree. And the footage, the footage is very, very important. Video footage, pass it on. I think the 80s is the worst as far as technology and everything, because when you're trying to look for things now for back then, it's so grainy and bad but you look at stuff that was in the 70s and it's better to deal, it's easier to deal with, so that's why I come up with this premise that the 80s was terrible, because prior to it you can still use a lot of video footage, and then after it you have some great footage to kind of show everybody. So but the 80s was terrible.
It was tough. I watched it happen. You watch people crumble.
Yeah, definitely. Let me try to do something. I want to talk to you about this statement. It says, "That's my story, and if you work your behind off, who knows what could happen." It's like, is that your philosophy, or someone taught you that? What? Tell me about that.
Well, I consider myself a student of philosophy. I'm heavy into the existential philosophy and the responsibility of the individual.
Mm-hmm.
I'm heavy into, the inner dialogue and the talk that you have with yourself constantly, and how almost like an opposite it is than the face that you give, which is supposed to some point, but there needs to be some balance. So like these type of things is where now looking back, what I accomplished wasn't what I set out for. I set out for the label of professional.
Yes.
So I kind of put my head down with that. And not to be cliche, but some of these sayings that we say and we beat to death are some of the most profound sayings, like you never know what you're going to get till you try. Like,
yep.
Just because it's watered down or you heard it 1,000 times, that doesn't mean that, it doesn't mean as powerful as it was said the first time.
Exactly. So. This one, I don't know how you're going to take this, but you got to develop some thick skin, son.
So Kobe Bryant's father, Joe Bryant, he was a good coach. He kind of mirrored like my dad's era, as far as being able to talk to. But he wanted me to get tougher. And at the time, I lost so many aunts to cancer and whatnot.
Yeah.
My aunt Tony got diagnosed at the time when I signed with him, and I was kind of foggy. I think we were playing in Atlanta. I think it was in Atlanta and then Nashville. We was on one of them road trips, and he just pulled me aside. I wasn't really shooting. I was going through the motions, kind of in my head, and I thought he would be sympathetic to me. So when we was at the airport, we were sitting there talking. He's like, "Hey, what's going on, Ray? What's up with you, man?"
Yeah.
You're kind of out of it. And I'm not one of those that's going to be all over you. I'll just shut down kind of, or just be like, whatever, I kind of was acting like the Bedford punk kid.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. I get it.
You think about it. You know what I mean? Just whining now that I think about that. But anyway, he pulled me aside. I said, "Listen, man, I lost a few members already. My aunt just got diagnosed. My mother's fighting through it, and I just, I'm just whatever with ball right now." And he was like, "Oh yeah, that's real," and he kind of leaned a little closer, and it was like something like my that era would do. You OGs. And he goes, "Yeah, man, well, let me tell you something, man. I don't know how you're going to take this, but you're going to have to develop some thick skin, man, because people are going to die, man." I was what? I was like, "What?" He goes, and he looked at me, waited for my reaction. He was like, "I said, people are going to die." And he goes, "You see what my son's going through?" And that was when Kobe was going through, he was going through that.
The allegations. Yep.
Yeah. He acquitted.
Yeah.
But he went through that, and he was saying, "Listen, my son's going from, the courtroom to the court and dropping 40." And he was like, "You got to make the court your sanctuary."
True.
You go, as soon as you cross those lines, something's gonna happen to you. You can't be one of these players that waits, to get fouled or pissed off, or even wait for the shot to go in to get going. He goes, you got to turn your own switch on, and that's the difference with people that play for a long time. So I took that and tried to run with that one.
It's great advice, because it's it's real. Every day we're thinking about it. If especially in this city, I can go to a funeral or wake every day in the city because it's someone I know. Paul Parrish mentions Buck Bones, and we talked about his sayings and some of the things he does. He had done and said to us over the years, and especially the kids in the South End. So it's just the OGs were great. They just came up with some stuff.
Well, it was natural. It was natural. You know what I mean? It was you can hear these guys talking, and then in the middle of it, they would just look at you, and it'd be like, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you're like, oh, and then like years later, you're like, oh man, that's what he meant.
So Basketball Hall of Fame. Talk to me about that. You get nominated. What's that process? How's it go?
So Springfield.
Yeah, yep. And so
a student, one of these students nominated me.
Wow.
Forever. He just put my name in. I get a call from Zach Rocha. He's like, congratulations, man. I just saw you on NBA.com. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yep.
So I go look it up. And I'm like, all right, what? I had to read it a couple times because you got your name next to Vince Carter and all these other guys, and Bill Laimbeer. So, we opened up doors. I was on one of these teams that really opened up doors for Africa in basketball. I definitely had a few accolades. I was the number one point guard in Africa, 2007, 2009. I was one of the top players. But it was because my teammates I had monsters down there. I'm getting 9 rebounds, Charlie, because I got workhorses down there, holding up these 7-footers so I can come in there and grab the rebound and just and go, be the one that gets the shine from it. So once again, just put my head down trying to play. We break through. We were number 3 in Africa as a team. And back then they only brought one team to the World Games or to the Olympics. And like now they bring like 5 teams. And I think this is more spearheading. I think it's a great gesture. I loved it. Once again, it was something that you don't set out for. But when you look back, you're like, wow, man, we were just all over the world in the corner, just trying to make our name for stuff, and we fought through. But the experiences, it beats the accolades. Being on the road. Like I was telling somebody the other day, I played against all the northern African countries, the Muslim countries. Our friends that are Muslims, we talked about their religion, and I played against Tunisia, Morocco, Lebanon, Egypt, and hung out with them, and I gotta tell people to just put it in perspective. Like the first time I went and played against a Muslim country like Senegal was in 2001. That was before the towers went down. So I watched that whole transition, flying, zipping through airports, and then all of a sudden, it's like stopped. And so it's just crazy playing at that, because we stopped playing with a milk crate or playing on the low hoops at Monty's. And then, you look up and you see like Germany or something across somebody's chest, or Egypt, or you hear the sounds of the game. I'm speaking in a different language, or not being able to intimidate people.
Yeah,
you can't intimidate the Arab countries.
I'm pretty sure those stories, right? Yeah, and you can't intimidate them because
hard. There's different when you're playing country versus country.
Yeah, any countryman on the continent of Africa what makes anybody think they can intimidate them, especially all the stuff that they've gone through, you know, the reality of what their countries go through day in and day out, decades upon decades, and
Mhm.
so what do you think you're going to do to them on the basketball court? You know?
Well, once people get there, you're not even just the whole area is different. The just the feel is different. So like you're not
Yeah,
even going to, you know, some people might fall to their knees like you're taking a 3-year-old away from a birthday party because they don't want to leave. Like they might not even walk into it because it's just a different feel. You know, it's not here. You
yeah.
immediately see what we have for granted.
And I remember you telling me stories about walking in the neighborhood and doing things and maybe not doing the nightlife, if you want to call that, in another country, but basically just trying to get introduced to the neighbors and the people within the that are on the sidewalks or along the street, and just having conversations with them. Um, what was that one experience being in the, outside the gym and talking to the locals? Can you share just one experience that really hit you in the heart?
Yeah, we were talking about Angola. You know, because sometimes politics in America gets a little, I mean, as it should be. You know,
Hmm.
it gets a little bit out of hand. But I got to live where it was martial law.
Mm.
You know, in Angola and Luanda, this was 2008. But they just finished their Diamond War like 10 years before that. You know, so long story short, we had MP soldiers. We had like military police soldiers every
Hmm.
day from like 6 p.m. on to keep the streets clear uh, while we was living in Angola. Oh, there's a teammate of mine, G.
Oh, okay.
He played out in Angola as well. So
Nice.
my point is, martial law is as real as it gets, man.
Hmm.
You know, no one out. Um, and what happened was you get to see the soldier night in and night out, and you're like, all right, he's out there. This is intimidating, but once you start getting to know him, you're like, all right, hold on, he's out there scared.
Hmm.
He's out there for running, for his life, and like that was like the flip side of our bling bling era. So I was watching like how we were bling bling, and then they talking about how diamonds aren't worth that much out there, and you just hear the horror stories. So when we play, I'm more of a person that kind of chills out. Like I'm not an all nighter, so I would go more to the lounges, or I would buy beers for the guys in the area and try to hang out. And I remember one time we were heading out, a teammate of mine, and we were I think we were trying to get a few beers to head out. But what we ended up doing was we were buying the cold ones, and we couldn't understand them at first. He was saying like Ultima Fresca, like that's the last cold one. And
Hmm.
I'm like, all right, hold on. So I told my buddy that because he thought he was just complaining. And what we ended up doing was we bought a round for everybody. It was like 8 guys in there, and the beers were like $1. But we bought a round for everybody. Before we took off, made sure that we left some cold ones because it would have messed up his business for the night. He might have only sold like
Oh,
12 beers, but if we took all his cold ones, he had them cold all day. So and then one guy pulled me over because he was like he was like on the rival of the other team,
yeah.
and he was just saying, man, we just watch you play on TV, and like your family would be proud. I was like, this is my family. So my family will buy beers for everybody. I mean, you better buy one for my father too, but
Yeah.
he'll buy a round for them. And he was just saying how some Americans just be in and out of there, get their money.
Yep.
And I
I,
was like, nah,
I
I'm more of a people person.
I love it. Yeah.
So
It's great. It's just, and that's what I like about you is that we share those stories and talk
mhm.
about it, and then just sit down and you're teaching someone that's, you know, or sharing a story where I'm learning from them, right? I never experienced anything like martial law. And, so when you tell stories like that to me, it makes me think a little bit. And,
Mhm.
but you're a constant inspiration and just keep sharing those stories. Um, I wanted to talk to you about two things. You're teaching on the basketball court with young kids, and you're teaching in the classroom. The one thing about coaching on both sides of it, it's pretty much, you're gonna have to, how do you want to, is you can't let loose like the old timers used to do as a coach, right? They tell you to do intense things, and things get dummied down a little, not dummied down, but you have to be more with a pacifier as a coach, right, on the court. Do you find that in both areas, on the basketball court, in the classroom, that you got to kind of be real sensitive, or are you still one of those guys that are straightforward and tell a kid like it is?
Well, you see the generations above me, so I don't know how to not be real. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm careful with my words, I guess.
Yeah. Yep.
But I think that's just in general. But I don't hold them.
Okay.
That's one of the main reasons I don't coach high school yet. I think people have I have this persona that I'm chill, and I'm definitely a chill individual, but I'm a killer deep down. And especially when it comes down to playing ball or work ethic or discipline, there's no wiggle room at all for it. So now in the classroom, when I do hold kids to a high standard, but first I do find what their capacity is, and then I hold them to that. On the court is a little bit different. I coach middle school and younger, so it's more the development, making sure that they do the things right, and that's what a lot of these OGs took their time to do.
I agree.
Correct my shot, or just know the ins and outs of the game. But yeah, as far as mincing words or anything like that, I don't. I'm totally in the real world. I've had 4 working visas in different countries. I played in 3 dictatorships. I played in China. I hooped in Libya. 6 months after I hooped in Libya, they blew that place up.
Wow.
And then Angola. So I'm inside of the real world, and not to say to be on the intimidating side, but I'm just more of the inner reality side. And it's like back to that philosophy. So, some kids and some don't resonate towards that, but all of them know where I'm coming from. And I'm more of an in the trenches type of general. So I think that they see that, and I think that's just human nature. Like a lot of people know what they need to do and will take the same verbal motivation. They won't take it, but if somebody says it that is willing to be in it with them, then they'll listen to it. So that's why I do teach, because that's the challenge of it as well.
Good.
But as far as the young ballers, I love it, because the beginning of the season, they're totally different players than the end of the season, as far as growth.
There's 2 parts of this, right? We have on your chest is a legacy behind that T-shirt and the person behind it, and there's also a legacy within the walls that you're in right now. What I want you to do is try to talk to me about the person behind your T-shirt. Any experience possible that you want to kind of say and tell a story about that T-shirt and that person behind it.
Oh, absolutely. The T-shirt water is from Basketball Money. By my big bro and mentor there, Marques Wills. I think the Bedford's finest.
Yes.
One of the best ballers I've ever seen, hands down.
Love it.
Easy money, easy scorer, effortless, a real student of the game, and humble too. When he took me under his wing, I hounded these guys, and he never took one play off of me. Yeah, Paul's real. So it's one of these. So Wills, we were in France, and he was flirting around with a basketball money concept and all these different things, just talking about how big basketball is. You know, he's almost predicting what was going on right now with the NIL. And, you know, it's a training company, it's a shirt company, it's a movement. And it morphed off. So I think the water concept, like I'll summarize it my way. Water is this, there's a, you can score. There's people that can score. There's people that can really shoot. And there's people that can just put that ball in the basket. And that's Will's, you know, and that's me and a few of us. Like, we just score and it goes in a certain way, you know, and I'm trying to make sure that it hits the net a certain way. I'm one of those perfectionists. So like, that's where that water comes in, as smooth as water, going in, you know, like it's nothing. I
love it.
You know, so some people are like, water, will you drink water? I was like, yeah, I drink water, but you know, there's only a few of us that really get that water game.
Yeah.
So after the scoring, you know, be a quiet game. You look down, and we were in high school, and Marques had 37.
Yeah.
You know, you look down, you have 31. You know, didn't break the sweat.
Yeah, it's
Splash
I think he scored quickest 10 points I've ever seen in one game. I can't think of who it was.
I believe it.
And I was like, oh crap! There was probably 2 minutes 60 seconds in the game. He already had 10 points already. It was amazing. I love him. You know, his folks and my folks are friends growing up. My folks were a little old, you know, older than his, but it definitely had a connection with him since you know, since day one.
Nice.
Paulo says, I think Jalen. He says, I think Jalen took a water concept and turned it into juice. I get it. I get it. But let's talk about those four walls behind you.
Yeah.
And,
so we are at Sleep Center NB. Kind of stumbled on this. So I started a marketing company almost 15 years ago. I originally started a trade company when I was living in Europe, and then I found out like the barriers to entry to trade. I needed like $11-12 million. So I restructured it with my professor at UMass Dartmouth. And I do digital media marketing. But I do true financial analysis, you know, cover page financials for businesses and professionals. So originally, Craig Szynski, who was on there before, what's up, guys? Was he talked about he had a website because he's a salesman for doing mattresses. So, you know, I looked at his e-commerce. I was helping him build that site, and he's like, "Hey, man, you know, we should get a store." You know, and you know, I talked to Lamont's one of my partners, and you know, I did the market analysis, and it seemed like a good gamble. You know, we could have went to a bigger store. You know, you get it's drop shipping, you get it within 4 to 6 days, and we have pretty much most mattresses that you can get, you know, from like $200 all the way to the Cadillacs, you know, a few $1,000s. But it's a good business. Like I said, I lived all over. I'm here in America. I think it's a blessing to have opportunities like this where you can go down to your municipality, fill out some paperwork, and now you're a business owner.
Exactly.
You know, I wake up brand new out here. So, you know, I also connected with another company. It's Higher Living Kitchen Solutions. These guys are hood, you know, hood cleaning, fire suppression, welding, you know, kitchens, stuff like that. So you'll be seeing that one pushed out there. So I'm basically the CIO, information officer for these different companies. And that's kind of what I'd be doing if I wasn't teaching, maybe in corporate. But I'm in the business of organizing people. You know, if people do have a concept, we can definitely help them out, bring that concept to a business. And then we try to get with all the different networks that I have. I got buddies that are all over the world. And we're going to be doing T-shirts coming in. That's why when we were talking about creating some type of news platform that could just be out there, you know, I really want to push entrepreneurs.
I love it.
I think entrepreneurship is in a class of its own. Um, and that's what it's all about here. So, another Houtman down there, another legend.
I
My
love that
favorite
kid,
legend.
man. He is Cedric, man. You keep up the good work. I want to tell you, the first time I met you, you're just a great man, and I want you to just know that where from me to you, and maybe I never told you this, but you're a great inspiration, and I think your sister, your parents, keep up the good work. Your legacy is unbelievable, especially the families that you guys are raising, and keep it up, man. I had
Yeah,
to say that about Cedric, man, because he's a humble dude, man, and
real humble,
yeah, so
good person, good
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, it's Flea saying something.
Love Flea too, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I
The
seen
son,
Flea dunk. I seen Flea dunk the ball. Mr. Humble.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it was something to see.
The Flea is just. Oh, I enjoyed playing. I used to love when him, uh, Blaine, your cousin Adele coming and coming down to Monty's and playing, and
Yeah,
it just was, and then we had a five, and stay on the court for hours. It was just love just playing them, and the best thing about it is they just came with their team. I got next, me and my team, and they just stayed on the court,
that's
and
it.
I love it. The all right, we're gonna
We got a couple
one of my
minutes left.
say that again.
Say a couple minutes left, man. Shoot
Yeah.
them off.
hmm Um, the question I ask my guest on every podcast is, who would you like to see on the Really Charlie podcast?
Oh man, that's a good one. Who would I like to see on the Charlie podcast? I want to see one person that I'm going to be interviewing who's going to help me with this is we have to get the OG legend ladies of New Bedford.
Mm,
So Miss Lopes, Miss Dorothy Lopes, my second grade teacher.
yes.
I already set it up where I'm going to go there and talk to her. Perhaps after I do a quick interview with her, maybe we can set it up so we can get the computer so that she can, because she has amazing stories.
Yeah. She was my first grade teacher.
Yeah, so I feel like I like miking people up and letting them forget it.
hmm
I set my grandmother. And shout out to my grandmother; she's actually watching.
Yeah.
But you stick the microphone right there,
hmm
and then you just talk.
Yeah.
I think candid talk is good. But Miss
It is.
Lopes, those type of individuals, people that have always been there, but might be in the background a little bit.
Yeah. Exactly. Did um, she has a relationship with Coach Barboza too. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, and I call him Coach, but everybody knows him as a photographer. But he's it's amazing how somebody like him, held the long jump record for decades.
really.
And I'm trying to think, it's either someone in your family or Dana Berger. One of them broke it. I forget who it was.
I think Dana broke those. My
Yeah.
brother did high jump, but Dana has like 6'10" or something like that.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So it is for years. Um, he had the record, and I remember him showing me it when I walked into the high school for the very first time. Coming from Florida, my junior year, and between him and Coach Gardner, Steve Gardner, they had all the stats there on the board at the high school,
Yeah,
and basically, showing me, and I said, "Wow!" And but he was just one of those cool,
it's athletes. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, Michael Kahn, thank you. Great show, fellas.
Thanks,
I
Mike.
appreciate it. It's yes, gym teacher at TA Green. I remember that. Actually, he bounced around. He was at Roosevelt, TA Green High School. But that was a crazy crew at the high school because they had Coach Barboza, Steve Gardner, had Mr. Roundsville, Coach Roundsville.
Well, they were state
And
champs too.
yeah, exactly. You know,
Yeah.
but I gotta send you that picture of Miss Lopes and myself and
Yeah, let's set that up, and I'm gonna find you this week. You
all
know,
right,
we'll sit and plan.
fair enough. You know,
And do all that because there's a few stories.
yeah.
And anybody that has a story, let me know. Come by the store. Like tonight, Taco Tuesday night here at Sleep Center NB. We'll play some spades.
Mm,
We do double this as an art. You can see some art in the background here.
wow.
We got Will Kennedy, Dutra, a lot of people. Like we're just trying to show kind of who we are through it, and then we're gonna have something monthly here. Either networking or whatnot. Really trying to push this just entrepreneur flavor.
Thank you, Lamont. Freaking on my, he's reading my mind, man.
There
Thank
you
you.
go. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's So I'm gonna give you all the time you need, and just let me know. Make sure that we do our thing. Also, I want to we are actually gonna establish another um inclusive Cape Verdean association in the city of New Bedford. Working on it now. Myself and a few others, just to kind of give another venue or another organization to help out with many things that are going on throughout the city. Um, but it would be inclusive, and just because it says the word Cabo Verde on it doesn't mean that you can't
Absolutely.
join. It's going to be all inclusive. I don't care who you are. If you're willing to help out the community, um, from our country to Cabo Verde, guess what? They're going to be welcomed in. But that's getting established now, and so I'll let everyone know as soon as I can.
And then we're gonna
And
get that newsletter going somehow.
yeah, that would
Start
that would
sending people. Start sending us your info, man. What you're doing. Because we're gonna try to replicate something like what Tom had, that CV News, something like that, just to you know so people know what's going on. We have
yeah.
technology now. He was doing that with printing, with his own money. So
Yeah, no money, taking a lot of his salary and putting it
yeah.
in the building. Um, Definitely.
Can you imagine Tom right now in this day and age? He
I,
would learn all this. He would have everything up to par. This thing would be global.
yeah, he would definitely, and you know what, he interviews so well, like if he
Yeah.
was a police detective, and that's why and then also his life skills is actually everything that he's gone through, and he can adapt with anybody,
Oh,
rich
hey.
rich or poor. Didn't matter where you were from, and what you say.
Oh, my
August
nephew.
is, yeah, I
August.
love it.
August. You have all kind of young ballers that are coming up.
Yeah, I
All
can't
these
wait.
families.
I'll probably be in a folding chair somewhere on the basketball court watching, but
Well,
I
you know what
can't
we'll
wait.
do? We'll drag you out there.
Yeah, you know,
Be Charlie
Dude,
Perry night.
that's it. Your grandfather made it all the time, man, didn't he?
Oh man.
Shoot, they need to they need to paint one of those areas in the bleachers, and just sign his name, put his name on it, man, because
Right.
he was
Right.
everywhere. Um, I love you to death.
Love you, my man. Appreciate it.
Anything I can do for you, please, please, and if
Yep.
you,
Come down the way. We'll tape a little spot for you for your show
yeah,
here.
okay,
You know what I mean? Little 30-second. That's what we've been doing for a lot of people. We're gonna stop pushing those out in September.
all
We're
right,
just getting a stronghold on the inventory and stuff here.
hmm
But the support from everybody has been amazing. Like
yeah,
it's a godsend. So life gives you those you know, those ripples, but that's why we're here, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you made a lot of us proud. Thousands and thousands of people are proud of you, and I just want you to know that I don't care what it is, man. All you got to do is ask me, and all I can say is yes or no. And I'm gonna try, no matter what you ask for. I'm gonna always try to be yes,
Thank you,
because
man.
I really appreciate you. All right.
I
Aki
love you
says,
guys. Love everybody.
all right. Thank
Yeah,
you, and God bless.
we'll connect.
Yep. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. I appreciate you. Don't forget about WNB1 Radio, 262 Union Street, New Bedford, Mass. The website is WNB1. Spell out the word one like the logo above Marcus's head, and add that radio station to your device, Apple or Android. And also they have plenty shows. They got Mags in the Morning with B Mags, J9. Also got Straight to the Point Thursdays with B Mags, Derek Kinsey Show, Stephen Lopes, and now another feature of Keith Rudolph, another great athlete from the Bedford High School.
Nice.
Giving you a nice program on Thursday night, 6 p.m. We got Frequency Live with myself, Derek Demers, and the host, Berto Carter, doing our things on Sundays at 7 p.m. to 9. And let's see, we got Luxury Tax. I'm sorry, I don't want to forget anybody. Luxury Tax by MG and the girls, Diana, all doing their thing. And I really, truly appreciate all the shows. And they have the record wall at the station. So if you're a musician, you want to play some music live on the radio, check out and contact someone at WNB1 Radio. All right, Marcus, you're the best. Take care. And
all right, Zeke. Love you, Zeke. All right, guys.
Love you, bro. Here we go.